Hello, I'm Nadim Uddin from CVIP Lab, and this presentation is about my proposal for the term project for optimization theory class. For the term project, I have chosen one baseline paper called Colorization using Optimization. This paper was proposed by Anant Levin, Daniel Leshinsky, and Wyatt Ruiz from the School of Computer Science and Engineering in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Now, the whole process can be summarized into two parts. First one is colorization. That is, the whole target of this paper is to facilitate the process of colorization. And second portion is optimization. And the second part is the most important thing because they have used an optimization process for this colorization task. Now the whole paper can be summarized into this provided figure here. We can see three images here: left image, middle image, and the right image. So the left image is the input image, and we can see that the input image is a grayscale image with some color hints or color scribble on some certain regions. And if we can see the middle image here, this is the output from the first image. An optimization process happened here, and the color hints or the color scribbles, they propagated into the regions they marked to. So we can see from our naked eye the colorization is really good comparing with the third image or the right image, which is the reference image or the ground truth image here. So from a naked eye perspective, we can see that this colorization process is really efficient, and it can colorize really well. If we can see the face region here as well as the face region here, even the hair region here, the reference image and the colorized image look almost the same. But if we go deeply to analyze these images, we can find some false colors and some artifacts as well. First of all, let's see this region here. If we compare this spot with the reference image, it's not correct, because if we see the input, on the input we have this green color scribble here on, and we can see this dot here faintly over can be seen faintly here. As because this is a bit dark, we have this dark greenish color here rather than having this reddish color here. So in a summary, this process is both efficient and inefficient at the same time. So as because this is an optimization problem and it is based on image processing, this topic is really interesting for me, and that's why I want to implement this colorization problem using the harmony search algorithm for the optimization. But before going into the proposed model, let's analyze the baseline model first. So the baseline model is a simple colorization method, and the concept is really simple. That is, neighboring pixel in space-time that have similar intensities should have similar colors. Now we can divide the sentence into several segments. First of all is the neighboring pixels. That means that we have one pixel and we have some neighboring pixels around that pixel, and those pixels have intensity as well as our target pixel has intensity. And if their intensities are similar, they should have similar colors, which means we are propagating color based on the intensity. Now there is a word called intensity. We will go to that word later. And second second characteristics of this paper is that the objective function, or the main function to be optimized, is a quadratic cost function. So this quadratic cost function has to be minimized to obtain the colorized image here. And using this constraint that the neighboring pixel with similar intensities should have similar colors, we have this optimization problem here, which is to minimize this cost function. The cost function, I will go to the cost function in the next slide. So to summarize the whole paper from a bird's eye view is that we have a grayscale image and we annotate the image with some color hints or few colors scribbled in some specific region, and the indicated colors are automatically propagated in both space and time to produce a fully colorized image or sequence. So there is another thing, that is the space-time terminology here. The original or the proposed paper, or the seminal paper we are talking about, can work with both still images and videos. That is why they have given this terminology space-time. So in my case, I'm not focused into video, rather I'm focused into space. So in my case, we will neglect the time parameter here and we will focus on the space parameter. So the algorithm here is quite simple. It's just the mathematical form of what I have described before. But there are some certain key points in the algorithms. First of all is the choice of color space. As we can see that the paper does not work with RGB color space here. Rather, they have chosen to work with YUV color space. Now, YUV or YIQ or LAB, these color spaces are built to mimic human vision system, or to mimic how human perceive color or images. So that is why for the colorization task it is more logical to use this kind of color spaces which mimic human vision system, such as YUV, YIQ or LAB color spaces. Now in YUV color space we have three spaces. First one is the Y space or Y channel, then U channel and the V channel. Y channel here is the monochromatic luminance channel. So monochromatic means single color, which means Y is basically a grayscale image with intensity value, which is denoted as intensity here, and U and V are the chrominance channels or the color channels. So basically these three channels encode image information into two different sectors. First one is the luminance channel or the monochrome channel, which we define as intensity, and second space is the color space, which are encoded by U and V spaces. So the input of this model is an intensity volume XYT because they denote by T as the time for the video, but we are going to omit this. Rather, we are focusing on Y as a function of XY. So Y, as we know, Y is the monochromatic luminance channel. So the input is basically a monochromatic luminance channel, and the output is two color channels. So we give one grayscale image and we get two color image, and if we combine them we have YUV, which is a color image. Now another thing is, in the paper we can see there are some R and S denotation, and this denotation were given to reduce the confusion, because like y function of xy, u xyt, v xyt, these This creates like less readability. So what the authors did, they used R and S to denote two pixels here. So if we say YR, that means R is a location, and YR means the intensity value of a pixel in R location, and S is a neighboring pixel. So the basic concept here using these terminologies provided by the paper is two neighboring pixels R and S should have similar colors if the intensities are similar. So what we are trying to accomplish here is, like, we are going to compare the intensities of a pixel and its neighboring pixels, and if their intensities are similar, then they will have similar colors, which means color will propagate through those pixels. Go back to the previous slide. This WRS is basically this W. This matrix holds the relationship for all neighboring pixels, and D here is a diagonal matrix whose diagonal elements are sum of the affinities, i.e. 1. So it's a diagonal matrix, and the affinities put the diagonal elements of this matrix are the affinities, sum of the affinities. So the equation boils down to a very simple problem, that is, we have to find the value of the linear equations, the solution for the linear equations using this sparse system. And in this paper they have used MATLAB solver problem, which can solve uh, sparse linear equation problems. But there is still some problems, as we have seen, that is that it is still approximation of the solutions, and because of that we can have some artifacts and we can have some false colors as well. So this is where I became interested, that whether it is possible to employ uh, any algorithm that is optimized that is designed for this kind of task, like searching the best solution for the task. So this search related problem led me to harmonic search algorithm. So instead of using the sparse representation, my idea is to go for patch based optimization using harmony search. So this figure roughly illustrates the idea I have. That is, suppose this is the whole image, and we take one window such as the paper, and instead of going for the sparse representation, we will convert it into array, and then apply harmony search to find the best or the optimal patch that has the minimum value in accordance with the objective function. And then from that perfect or almost perfect patch, we will construct the new patch which will contain the color values. Now there are some problems as well as some benefits. First of all, the benefit is the harmony search algorithm was proposed for optimization problem, first of all. So this is really relevant to this field. Second of all is solving linear equation using linear system. It can yield really good result, and it's quite fast, but it does not necessarily guarantee the optimal solution for the problem. Rather, harmony search has some really distinctive characteristics which can actually give it benefit for this colorization problem. First of all is the initial harmony search matrix or memory matrix. That is, we generate some solution we construct an initial matrix, and then based on evaluation, based on the harmony consideration rate, and based on pitch adjustment rate, we try to find the optimal value up until some stopping criteria is met, or we have found the optimal solution. So this can work in theory. This might work because colorization with optimization uses optimization, but they use this linear solving mechanism, and they use linear solver mechanism because they have this sparse representation of the matrix. So if we go for patch based, harmony search can search really fast within predefined length, and if we can modify harmony search for more adaptive searching range, it can work more fast, or it can work faster. So the proposed method in summary is using patches from the images to construct initial harmony search, and then apply harmony search on the patches to find optimal patch, and then replace optimal patch to obtain the colorized image. So the theory sounds really easy, but the problem I'm facing currently right now is how to construct the initial harmony search matrix, first of all. Second of all is how to set the pitch adjustment rate and harmony memory consideration rate, because these two value will be responsible for the variation in the data. Then again, how many patches should I go for? If I take more patches, then it will take more time for the optimization. If I take less patch, that means maybe I'm missing some important patch information. Also the patch width, patch height, how big the patch should be, as well as there are some other characteristics such as patches are overlapping or non-overlapping. So if I go for non-overlapping, I will get less number of patches, but it might have some artifact problem because the patches are not connected or are not overlapping, and maybe the intensity in one block differ with another block because these are non-overlapping. And if we take overlapping, that is really optimal because all the values will be adjusted accordingly because the patches are overlapping. But the problem is, if we take overlapping, we will have lots of patches, and number of patches can really slow down the whole execution, or the whole colorization process, which is defined at the last problem line, optimization time comparison. That is, if our proposed method is slower than the baseline paper in terms of magnitude, uh, then it might not be as effective as we think, the whole colorization process. Then we can focus on how to optimize the harmony search algorithm for this specific task. So current status is, for the baseline Python code, I'm taking inspiration from PyHarmony search from GitHub. It has some interfaces and it's written on Python. It's a bit slow, but I think it's a very good starting point. For the YUV space conversion is already done. Any images are converted into YUV space. Patch extraction is already done. I'm using overlapping patches and I'm getting more than 44,000 patches. I will reduce the number of patches for the optimal number, try to find, and then the main part comes, the optimization and the final result. So for optimization, we have to come up with the colorized image and show that our proposed model can outperform the colorization using optimization process. That we have to go through some more basics and some more coding refurbishment to finalize the version, but it should be done within 1 month, as I can hope for now. So that is the proposed model for my optimization theory class. Please, if you have any question, please ask me, and I will try my best to answer them. And I will focus on initial harmony search metrics and optimization for the next 1 week. Okay, that is my presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me time, and I will try hard to finalize this project as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and take care.